What's poppin'? It's Rose, man. Mr. Grim Rose himself, the big old meister. And I've been on some deep little training shit. And in this present moment in time, please don't mind the background, but I got some beautiful stuff coming through. I always got family vibes. You know what I'm saying? Happening in my occurrences. So I try to keep my present. But in this present moment in time, I want to speak about what it is. Well, what is a HoKaGe, or what it means to be HoKaGe. I'm not gonna get too deep and spiritually profound. I want to speak on the matter of the word itself. So when you're speaking about HoKaGe, right? First you're talking about a hoe, and hoes are akin to hope. When you think about a hoe in that shape and form and its use and abilities, how it's a tool and it's a hoe, that makes the accumulation of hope to where it's a being or entity that can bring you something of knowingness that can help the accumulation of your growth and energy itself. Now, that's being a HoKaGe, just being a hoe, but it's like being a good hoe, like being everyone's mistress in a way, shape, and form, to where it's like you're consistently having sex with the village, but it's like you live as the tree and everyone else is the grass. You know how it's like the village hidden in the leaves, and then you got HoKaGes, and there's different numbers to the HoKaGes. All those symbols have a meaning that could accumulate to a word to individuals that know multiple languages or that speak different dialects or vernaculars. It's knowing different aspects of existences, and knowing how to compute them yourself. And a lot of beings speak in a different manner. Like in this present moment in time, it's a lot of dogs barking, but a lot of people would consider that speaking or necessarily talking when it clearly is a manner of communication. It's just a certain way of speaking, just like how trees have bark and dogs bark. It's barking. So trees make speak in a manner of barking. You get what I'm saying? And there's a whole bunch of different aspects to being HoKaGe and just ruling the Hidden Leaf Village. And the Hidden Leaf Village is just like the leaves that you come from. So it would kind of be like the different shapes and forms of your genetics or your original zodiacs. So kind of like your Nin and that description of Hisoka, not Hisoka, but of Hunter x Hunter when they're talking about just how the powers broke down. That's in similarities to a chakra grid, and just how it works upon a singular basis or just one chakra point itself. Then once you get to opening your chakra, you get to learning about things that exist, such as zodiacs, and you know how to connect oneself with the overall flow of who you are. Now there are different zodiacs for everyone, and you have different zodiacs in which you attach to, in different zodiacs in which you have grown, different zodiacs in which you are. It's just something that you need to figure out for yourself, and that's everywhere. That's a mass accumulation of knowledge that is ready and handable for anyone to get. So it's easy to get the processes of such things that I'm breaking down. And like I'm saying, to reiterate myself so you clearly hear what I'm describing. A HoKaGe is a shape and form or a representation of the whole thing, of the whole tree, of the whole entity. So a leaf village itself is just a village of grass, a village of wrath. You be around a whole bunch of spirits and bodies and they want to be a conception, and you got to deal with life. And you watch Naruto, and a good way to deal with life is being HoKaGe. It's that simple. Like it help you get through existence being a leader. And that's the shape and form and expression that I'm describing. And similarities to Aries. If you wanted to help your zodiac with knowledge or magic or mana itself. And if you look at it through a magical lens, it's just like red mana or like blood, but not in necessarily forms of dark magic. Because chakra would just be charging oneself. That's all it really is. And it's a lot of different shapes and forms of doing that. Now, now this is me teaching you about the arts of cultivation. Once you start to get that knowledge to a present know-how of yourself, you won't necessarily need to go off another's empowerment. So you know how to strengthen thy vessel. It's talking about the sense of your mind, how you live through your currency and electricity of energy, Just how you see them chakra grids, and just how you see all them chakra points and acupuncture points and all that good shit, it's all the same thing. You just have to have a mind to put these terms together, and similarities to nin. And that's like a good conception to open oneself to what powers are. Superpowers, powers and abilities that you already have, and it's applying your imagination with existence. So once you know one and two, you know how to put one and two together and put your imagination with existence, then you can start applying such things and seeing the effects, even if they are in small amounts. You gotta rinse and repeat it. And Nin has a lot of Hunter x Hunter has a lot of descriptions on how to like increase your power, increase your Nin or whatever your belief of it may be. And then you got the arts of cultivation, right? To where you jump in something like Naruto, to where it's like already living through you, and it's a lot of great shapes and forms that you already have accumulated to thyself, like words of power, knowledge that you possess. To where you have been sleeping through these entities as you have grown throughout the animus or the anime. Just living throughout existence as its different characteristics and having fun with your form itself. So once you get to develop such things in a high magnitude, you get to awaken in your light body. You have different light bodies as you are a human and you are a rainbow entity. You all different colors and shit. And once you clean and purify yourself, you get to seeing them colors and whatnot awaken, just like you would see in some manhwas and different webtoons and mangas and whatnot that describe the arts of cultivation. Things such as Kui, and similarities to Tai Chi. But this is all talking about being a HoKaGe. But in the same sense, I'm giving you a breakdown on how to build yourself up if you was trying to manifest your own development of power. If you was trying to manifest your own development of self, your own development of courage, where you try to get something to keep going or something like that in that manner, shape, and form in life to where you can function in a way to where you can be happy rather than always being in a depressed state of being and living in misery with others. And this is like I say, it's beyond just like something that's powerful. It's talking about your emotions and feelings. That's how you gain your power itself. Going through life, going through experiences, hardships, traumas, getting out of love, not being lost into others, knowing how to be wholesome, knowing how to be who you is. Now when you speak about being wholesome, you got that ho that goes to o. That's the originalities of who you are. That kage is the knowingness of your age. So it's always going to be a spirit and body that represent your present moment in time. That's why I call myself Kairos, because I represent myself wholesomely. Now in everyone's life, you got Laka shape and form, just like you see it in Dragon Ball Z. You got angels that are meant to guide you. And it's like as you consistently improve yourself as Goku, or as an ape that's all possibilities, a human living through an ape vision, you know what I'm saying, or a Super Saiyan type of life. So I really got access to my own genetics and I am who I am. You got to see yourself like that and keep going. But know you got Kais and other people that's wishing the best for you. But you got to do the best. I can get deeper with the Dragon Ball Z explanations, but it's just like you're getting out your own conception while mastering your ape. Because if you're a human, you come from Homo sapiens. And they come from homes. And they have sayings of their own. And they got pens and stories in which they have lived through. Different descriptions of realities in which they have stepped and imprinted. So Dragon Ball Z is a sense of learning oneself. Just like Vegeta, I see Vegeta like Vega. That's a star. When I think about Vegeta, I think about all possibilities because that's a Super Saiyan. That's an anime character. So I got a star watching over me. Vega. That's a star you can look up. Constellation of Capricornus. And that star empowers me on my day-to-day basis like that's my father. I live life and say I'm King Vegeta. But when I present that or say it, I'm saying that in the form of knowingness. And Vegeta is my vessel as I embodied I. Just like you will hear magic or callings and summonings. But that's just a part of myself. I'm not all Vega. I'm like the Ta. The talking. In its simplicities or simplicities. In the same sense as I can call myself somebody like Devil Jin. Instead of seeing myself like a jinn, I'm the whole conception, the whole story. I'm not just lost in a smaller flame. I'm not just lost in love. That's what stories like Tech can be trying to teach you. You have to walk your own path, regardless of what you want to say life is. You got to master yourself. And that's what being a HoKaGe is. Knowing that you are your own hope. You is your own thread. You is your own rope. You is your own chakra. You is your own system. All your cultivate. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like you have mastered a nature element itself. So throughout Naruto, you see different HoKaGes to where they're masterful at different elements of existence. You know, and different Kages themselves to where they're like anointings of an age. And that's how life and reality has came to being. And that's why it's like different clans and different villages, because it's different ages of existences. Just like that V is like a container for electricity, it's like a container for the force itself. And I could break down the rest of the word, but a village is talking about a multiple group of beings living with one another and trying to be prosperous, living in a humane and civilized manner throughout the ordained acts itself. You know, so multiple villages make a whole lot of shit and stuff going on. We got different villages and stuff. Motherfuckers know how to protect themselves. You get what I'm saying? You know, to where it's like a being may have grown up in this little area, to where it's like certain shapes and forms that could be expressed as zodiacs. You know, to where it's like in the leaf village, it's mainly toads, it's mainly frogs, it's mainly little critters. We got slugs. We got, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's just grass, and you supposed to think of it like just grass. It's just grass in the tree. You know what I'm saying? You got Hashirama there. He's the first HoKaGe. But he like a big ass tree. That's about it. Hashirama is really another word for tree and a description for thyself. You know, if you know how to look into it and break it down, it's just Hashirama. You can break it down for yourself if you believe in that word as I do. Everybody got their own ways of seeing life. I speak English. I live in them type of mannerisms. You know, that's the type of dialect that I have. So, yeah. But that's that. Other than that, it's just like remember that all this shit is meant to be threaded together, and I'm expressing it as a form of imagination, to where you empower yourself with your own thoughts, to where you can live through these entities as if they're your own little deities, because these names are technically gods in some shape or form. Even if that god Naruto, what if it was a fox? What if Naruto was a fox? Like, who made Naruto? But they're just fox people. Could you believe that? But they have a different sense of life. Or Minato is a toad. You know, Madara is a frog. Something like that, like for real. So they have different abilities and senses of life itself. You know, shit, Sasuke really a snake. He really come from a tribe of snakes, and they live in a tribe. That's what they consider a village. They live as the living river. On some real shit. That's where you get like certain conceptions and kundalinis and stuff like that, like different clans and peoples, and you'll call them vampires, are beings that expand reality. That V is like a container for electricity. The AM, you got an expression for AM every day. That's the expansion of existence itself. So you got the VAM, then you got the P, which is a new awareness. Then you got the IRE, which is just like fire, vampire. They're just a great soul, a great spirit. But they may not be who you know them to be. You just see the lightning of thyself, or the human appearance. So they can have another shape and form, to where a nigga could be a wolf or something. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker could be a girl. What's her name? Tsunade could have really been a slug. There's just different type of slugs. You may not know the slug world. It's that deep. Like there's different stages. You know what I'm saying? They may learn from one another so they can develop themselves and overcome their problems. And it's expressed through different shapes and forms, such as the seals upon their eyes, like the Sharingans and shit like that. You know, like they gotta overcome love, so they can't get lost in just blood and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They gotta know how to overcome thyself. You know what I'm saying? To really master their own energy. You know, they all got their own experiences. And you got sage eyes. You got to master nature. You got to become one with life, one with existence. Got to be a harmony. It's like all the frequency, vibration, energy shit I'll be talking about all the time, 24/7. You know, and just like to say the six paths and a lot of them type of journeys, it's a lot of different religions that have the same type of um, copics, copetics, you know, to where it's like it's a similar manner of expressing a story to where the allegory is fitting in a similar sense with one another. How to be a savior of yourself. And when you say Jesus, because I'm not just talking about Jesus right now, that's a group of beings, or you being a Holy Spirit, all of yourself, and overcoming your situation. That's the power of the word Jesus. Now, Christ is seeing the light in the situation itself, so you can know there is, so you can see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Before I even jump into any type of religion, you know, optics, before we get any views of differentiations of what I'm actually expressing, know that I'm just talking about developing who you are, being strong in life. It don't go further than that. Everything else we're trying to create. Back on topic. There's a lot of ways to develop your power. And your power is being who you is. Being who you are. A-R-E. Because you have an or. You can choose. You have options. You have a Gemini sign. You have ore. You have iron. You have elements within yourself. Sediments. You get what I'm expressing? You got all shapes and forms living through you. You can have gold in your being. Have you ever thought about them type of possibilities while having the certain elemental attributes to bring forth such things as fire or lightning? Because you know you exist as a damn near like a living computer. Because you have that much knowingness of who you are. Just building up all these words. What can you do with that? Being honest and just trying to grow. And I'm teaching you many ways to develop your own power. All you got to do is do it. You know? And yeah, that's it for real. You know, I be in my own little la la land. I don't really get lost in other people's conceptions and whatnot of life, but I'm not a deity or an entity that's in conception that's living through my shape and form as if I'm here to express myself on the mannerisms of just ego. When I say something and express it on this platform of YouTube and the interwebs and all that good stuff, I'm trying to help others. All my own desires I plan to accomplish with thyself. When you look outside of yourself, when you detach from your own zone and try to jump in another's and get something from that space, you end up dirty each time. Because you're not in your own sense. You jump out your innocence. But when you make that choice, you gotta know you're putting yourself in hell. Inhaling. Going in another motherfucker's atmosphere. To where they got their own creations, shapes, and forms because they be having sex. They be creating all type of stuff in their little world. You don't know what another person got going on. You just imagine it. What is your life? Before you look at another's. What do you wake up and inspire yourself to do? What do you really believe in? Or are you just scared of the possibilities of like yourself being true? Now I only ask that question because most people usually see themselves in the type of mannerisms when you really don't want to grow. But that's your own choice. But you have to know you're making that choice. Because we always grow. Life just keep going on. So you gotta find some good dirt. You gotta find a place for you to live. You gotta find earth that you can come from. A space, a family, a home. But there's a lot of different forms that represent that. You gather up your own symbols and you make a furnace. It keep you warm. It gives you fur. It gives you knowingness. It gives you a na and a si to where you have warmth. Rather than being in life and just being like I'm lost. You have to be your own leader. That's what life is. Just like you got lead, iron and lead kind of go together. Simple. Rocks and shit. You got iron in your blood, nigga, leave yourself. That's all I got. Yeah, EA, shape and forms being solid. Iron, blood, iron hard, metal, being all of yourself. Niggas be talking. I'll be walking. Is you moving? Because if you're not moving, you might not be improving. But sleeping ain't losing. You gotta be rejuvenating. I ain't debating. Look at my faces. Niggas be the fakest. I'm something like the greatest. You lost in debating. Probably just waiting. Oh, hope you ain't hating. I ain't hell raising. Just pures the basics. Look at my eyes. Black and white. Whatever. Tell I ain't racist. Brown. I shine on all of the cases. I'm the light. Going through all of the matrix like I'm Christ. Neo fight. You ain't seen these heights. Nigga, I don't even bite. My smile, clean as a little mice. I ain't never seen the sight of a laboratory. Whole different story. I'm talking nature. You ain't even seen my face here. I could be cunning lingus, like a fox is. But I got a big old. Nah, I'm just playing. Something like Venus. You ain't seen this. I'm on the scene here. Well being I need it. Lucky my spleen is. Bitch, I'm